Hello, 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 and welcome to an entirely British live stream. No, I'm not going to do my accent like that. I come from a comedy background, so I only know comedic accents. But yes, it's very nice to see all of you. And as some of you pointed out, we have an entirely British lineup of stories today. So yeah, I just like to have fun. I'm glad you guys appreciate it, right? It's fun to do. Hello, 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 hello. That's right, the tariff situation's gotten better. The stock market is not only way up, but some would even say surging. So, let's just hold on. Are some of you in Britain right now? Romaine is in England. Away says, I feel represented. Auditioning for Mary Poppins. Well, I was really doing the role of Bert. But yes, I love Mary Poppins. Faye, I'm Lorde. I'm not a big music fan, as many of you know, but I'm very happy for you. Oh, look, SLHQ, Yorkshire Pudding. Hey, Elpidio, thank you for gifting a membership. So we have three, I think, really strong stories today. As always, please keep your questions and comments to the story at hand. And then, of course, at the very end of the stream, there's always 10 minutes of Ask Me Anything. All right, who said it was their bedtime? Hey, Shankar, hola to you as well. It's 12 a.m. where you are. Wow. That's pretty late. Where are you? Hey, Steven. Elliot, I'm so sorry to hear you're sick. I'm trying to see where Shankar is. Shankar Roy, where are you? David, you're getting something close to it, Disneyland. We're going to talk about it. We'll give one more moment for a response, and then I must continue with the stream. But I really want to know. Maybe Shankar went to sleep. All right, let's get started. 1 second more. 1 second more? No. All right. Story number 1. So many photos have been uploaded for today's live stream. We're going to have a grand time. So story number 1. Boop. Or what do you say? Lisan Al-Gaib. That's right. Lisan Al-Gaib. Okay, so Robert Pattinson. My goodness. Robert Pattinson. I got to tell you, you don't even know how hot this guy's career is right now. But you will in just a few moments. Hey, Andrew. All right, so of course, he and Warner Brothers have a wonderful relationship. He just started Mickey 17, which was a total flop for the company, but he was very good in it. He's, of course, Batman. And then I think it all started with a little movie called Tenet, where he really blew everybody away. They were like, that's the guy from Twilight? He's really good, actually. He was quite debonair and dashing in the film. And remember, Robert Pattinson himself is British, but he so rarely plays a Brit. So, just like Timothée Chalamet, who of course is starring in Dune, and Margot Robbie, and Jason Momoa, Robert Pattinson is very much a Warner Brothers talent. He makes films for other companies. You're about to see he's currently doing 2 for A24. But Warner Brothers is certainly a place where he has a home. Now, he's very busy. So he's got a couple of upcoming movies that have already filmed. And I just want you to, I was just looking this up the other day. And I'm glad I have an opportunity now to tell you about it. His career is about to just explode. All right, you'd think it couldn't get any better than it is right now. But, all right, so I bet you he gets Oscar nominated in the next year or so. So these are his upcoming movies. Now, obviously, we all know what The Odyssey is. He's going to be playing, Hermes, right? The messenger god, that's the rumor. But he is in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey with a lot of other people, including Zendaya, by the way, who of course is in Dune. But let me tell you about these other 3 movies, and you're just gonna be shocked when you see how amazing these are. All right, so the first one up is this movie from Lynn Ramsey. You might recall, I forget Lynn Ramsey. She's a pretty well respected filmmaker, even though I forgot what she made. But anyway, look at this cast. You got Jennifer Aniston, Lakeith Stanfield, Sissy Spacek, Nick Nolte, right? And then Martin Scorsese's a producer. Oh my God, that's amazing. So, we need to talk about Kevin. Thank you, Mika. That was a great movie. We need to talk about Kevin. So that's one of the movies that he's working on. But hold on, there's 2 more. Then he's doing this one called The Drama. I've never heard of this Christopher Borgli, but Ari Aster is producing. And Zendaya's in this one too, as you can see, along with Mamadou Athie, who I'm a big fan of. And this is for A24. So this is very strong as well. But it's not my favorite of the 3 films. Oh, wait till you see this one. This is a stroke of genius. And Robert Pattinson is even a producer on it. All right, you ready? Oh, he made Dream Scenario? That's the Nicolas Cage movie, right? That was pretty good. But look at this one. Prime time. He's going to play Chris Hansen of To Catch a Predator fame. And it's based on Chris Hansen's book, and he's going to play Chris Hansen on how he pitched the show and how it was filmed. That is an incredible idea for him. I just think that's such a strong film. That's like his I, Tonya. That is just really incredible that he landed that. And he's a producer on it. I mean, I think that to me, this is the project I'm the most excited about. That's right, Ramonzilla. Those cheekbones don't quit. Although he does seem to have a little bit of he said he has a real problem with fad diets. And it made me feel bad for Robert Pattinson. Like the pressure for him to have those cheekbones was perhaps too great. I felt kind of bad for him. I was like, are you starving yourself, Robert Pattinson? I mean, he looks great, but I thought that was crazy. But yeah, these are 3 incredible movies. Incredible. And I think there's a very, very, Chris Hansen, I believe, did have a scandal. You know, I mean, this is going to be I remember Bill Hader used to do that really funny SNL sketch where Chris Hansen was having a little too much fun with To Catch a Predator. I think that was it. But I feel like these are 3 incredible projects that he has coming up. I mean, he can afford to do another franchise movie with Dune because he's locked and loaded for awards. I just feel it's incredible. That's right, Morphed. It could be like Uncut Gems. I mean, it's just an extremely good idea. I mean, I would greenlight that movie in a second. You wouldn't even have to finish talking before I greenlit it. I'd be like, what do you want to do? Yes. All right. So what else is, so now, some of you pointed out, isn't he supposed to be making the Batman? There are some weird, crazy fake stories going around about how Matt Reeves isn't going to do the Batman. Somebody was like, is this true, Grace? I'm like, you could go to the Hollywood Reporter for 2 seconds and you could see that it's not true. But I think, this film, we'll just skip to this and we'll come back to the other one. All right, let's talk about this first because I got to do it in order. All right, so who would he be playing? Who would he be playing? Well, Skytail is the rumor. Skytail is a villain. He's a face dancer, which is a very nice way of saying a shapeshifter, of the Bene Tealax, and later the youngest, Dune is crazy, and the youngest Masaketh and the last Tiliaxu Master, who played a prominent role in major historical events that span more than 5,000 years. 5,000 years? Well, the thing is that the Tiliax are immortal because they're the ones who came up with the Golas, which are basically androids which download your memory so you can live forever. Jason Momoa is coming back as a Gola. I guess Robert Pattinson shall build him. But that's a big part of it. But you know what else it reminds me of? This guy. I'm like, oh, what, assassins? Assassins, right? Oh, it's Tleilaxu? Thank you, Stephen. I'm going to have to look up how to pronounce all this stuff. And it's pronounced She-Tail? What's pronounced She-Tail? His name is She-Tail? Okay. I'm going to have to look up all this pronunciation for Dune Messiah. Hey, TJ. But yeah, this sounds an awfully lot like the man with no face, the faceless assassin. So I think that's interesting. But, this guy hasn't been around for a long time. So why not do this? I'd be interested to see Robert Pattinson if he almost played like a male Mystique. We always see female shapeshifters. We don't see a lot of male shapeshifters. I mean, I guess outside of animation with Morph. Marduk, I think that, I'm not sure if Goluses are clones or androids. They do seem to be built. They're not born. So I think it's kind of like a mix. That's right, Morphed. Morphed, that's a pro. Oh, Morphed, you're clearly a fan of male shapeshifters. That's right. the chameleon in Craven was a shapeshifter, and I thought that was really well done. So that's who he would potentially be playing. All right, now let's talk about the filming and the scheduling. So Dune is set to film this summer. When's he going to film Batman? Batman 2, maybe at the end of the year. Didn't he say he was only going to film the Batman 2 at the end of the year anyway? So he's got some space in his schedule. So it would begin filming this summer for a 2026 release. And that Beatles movie already locked up a number of those actors. So they've decided to go maybe with Robert Pattinson. Now, that's a great release date. That is typically when Star Wars or an Avatar movie releases, but there ain't no Star Wars or Avatar movie in 2026. That's also when the Superman trailer came out, basically on that date. I think it was like December 16th or something. And I think that's a very good release date. Very, very strong. So that's a great thing for this movie to take, a great date. However, there's some big competition that month, as you can see. The month will kick off at the beginning of December with Jumanji 3. Then Dune will come out. Then Shrek 5, as you can see. I think that Dune can handle Jumanji and Shrek 5. But Werewolf? That is Robert Eggers' follow-up to Nosferatu about a werewolf. I'd be a little concerned about Dune versus Werewolf. I think there's a little bit of overlap there. It makes me a slight bit nervous. So we'll see. Now, I think the cast is obviously very strong for Dune and seems to only be getting stronger. Oh, that's a good point, Mika. That IMAX situation is not going to be fun. Build more IMAXs and Dolbys. It's so stupid. But this is obviously already an incredible cast, and Robert Pattinson fits really well. And in fact, he kind of is a great replacement for Austin Butler, who, of course, his character did not make it out of Dune 2. Great performance from Austin Butler, the kind that would perhaps inspire others to want to join the franchise. I mean, it kind of like raises the bar for what are you going to do? How's your character going to be unique? And I'm very excited to see what Robert Pattinson does. But it's very smart, and I think everybody's also pretty darn excited to see what Robert Pattinson opposite Timothée Chalamet will be like. That's going to be quite the scene work. I'm very excited about that. That's like almost like fanboy and fangirl all-stars. You're like, I don't know who to get more excited over. I mean, it's just a great idea. That's right, Shell. You said it the right way. We are sat. I mean, that's really, really impressive. I didn't see The King, Tiki, and nobody else did either. I mean, a few people did. So that's right. They have worked together before, but luckily, no one saw it. So this will still have the freshness of a first appearance. All right, but good memory there. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this story before we move on to the second story of the day? Steven says The King is a good movie. I don't know. Oh, 1 second. Hold on. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Sam says they should push Dune to March 2027. But isn't that when the Batman comes out? They don't want Dune and the Batman in the same year. Paul Blart. Hey, Mall Cop, says probably time to close the curtain on Batman 2 at this point. No, and if you knew what Matt Reeves was dealing with, you would just leave them alone, as I'm going to do. I mean, it's not a Chadwick Boseman situation, but it's close. And I hope it doesn't turn into that. You should leave Matt Reeves alone. Let's see. Dylan, AMC is investing more in their theaters, but I think they are going to build some more premium screens. I think particularly Dolby's. But I hope they push it a little bit. I hope they really need to get going on that. Don't try and guess what's going on with Matt Reeves. And I didn't say it was about him, by the way. But, something he might be dealing with. Champagne, that is a true point. I've said before that I feel perhaps they should consider letting Matt Reeves produce, but maybe somebody else should come on and direct. My choice was Robert Eggers, but he wants to make this werewolf movie. So I think they're in a little bit of a bind. It's tough. It's really hard. I want to see Matt Reeves's Batman 2, but it's taking a very long time. It's not canceled. Batman 2 is not canceled. They're not going to cancel Batman 2. Oh, that's right, Hamish. Eggers also signed on for Labyrinth. He's busy. Hassan, I would agree. I think Matt Reeves did such a wonderful job with the first Batman that it's nice to have a little bit of a break. I think sometimes that Hollywood oversaturates the market and you're like, I just watched that movie. So I think it's a better idea to do it that way. All right, I think we're ready for the next story. Okay. Drago says, I'm not a fan of Dune, and I'm not a fan of Hollywood using the same actor for multiple projects. It's good for the actors, but they should expand the playing field. I think it's nice to find discoveries, and they do find discoveries. Mike White's finding a lot of new talent. But I think that Dune is about being an all-star cast. Dune is not about finding new talent. So I'm fine with it. But I think that's a good sentiment, and I think it is important to keep replenishing the talent of Hollywood. Okay, story number 2. Boop, governor. Okay, here we go. Oh, get excited, people in the UK. You're getting a theme park. So it was finally confirmed late last night or early in the morning, UK time, that it's happening. So I want to start the story with Epic Universe, of course, is getting a lot of attention. Epic Universe comes out or opens in May 2025, but it's already starting press previews and employee previews, and they're about to do early previews for pass holders and military. It's a really big deal. It's going to dominate a lot of the news cycle over the summer. But not to be outdone, the UK Universal has now announced that they will be building a theme park in Bedford, UK, that will open in 2031. Now, construction is set to begin this very next year in 2026, and it will be 1.5 hours by car from London. Since so many of you are from the UK, this is where it's going to be, right here. So there's a little map. There's Bedford right there, right? And there's Wixham's. Oh, I love it. It's so fun. Oh, and look, this is very important because we're going to be talking about this. There's a train line, the Marston Vale train line. It's going right through the middle of this complex. Oh, yeah, and there it is on the map of the UK. All right, so, yeah, 2031 is a long time away. They got lots to build. Now, this is very interesting because Disneyland Paris, I think, has done very well. In fact, I just visited London for Christmas. It was wonderful. You have a wonderful city. And I took the Eurostar to Disneyland Paris for Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The Eurostar is incredible. You can find yourself from London to Paris in just about 2 hours. And it really feels like nothing. It's just a really, Europe is very small compared to the United States. And I'm sure other regions of the world. And you can really get around it pretty quickly by train travel, no less, which is very cost effective. And of course, the Eurostar goes both ways. So people can go from mainland Europe to the UK to very easily get to this theme park. And in fact, when I was at Disneyland Paris, a lot of people came in every day by train. This is the train station at the park. It's a short walk to the parks from the train station. The train station's basically, I'd say, 5-minute walk. I mean, really, it's all together. And every morning that I was at Disneyland Paris, I would see a number of people, hey, Moster, a number of people coming off the train for the day. And just all the people who even just live around this theme park will be very impressive. Now, Keir Starmer, I'm sure you've heard that name a lot when we talk about all the political stuff going on, but Keir Starmer is the current Prime Minister of the UK, and he closed this deal. It's I guess when we see something like when Shanghai, Robert Iger was doing a lot with the people who run China. So here, Keir Starmer, and he had some really funny jokes. He was saying this is the only political announcement he's ever made that his teenage children have an interest in. It's not, the train isn't going to run through the park, but it's probably going to run alongside the park. And when you get off the station, you'll be there. You know, you're not going to have to commute from the train station to the park, which is fantastic. That map I showed you, hold on, where is it? This map is the hotel. It's going to be a whole complex. This isn't entirely the park. And you can see there's another train line there too, A421, and the Thames Link. So that's 3 trains going right through this area. That's really, that's going to be great. All right, so Keir Starmer points out, as you can see, that they're going to be creating 28,000 jobs, which is huge. And they said the majority of them, the vast majority, will be hired from within the UK. Obviously, they'll cast a wide net for performers. And then also 8.5 million visitors in just the first year. I'm glad you remember again, Master. I mean, that's going to be just wonderful for the economy and for that region. And again, it's an hour and a half outside of London. So I think you'll see a lot of people from all over the world being able to pair this with a trip to London. So you go to London for a couple of days, then you travel, just like I did with going to London and then Disneyland Paris. Maybe I could find myself going from London to Universal Studios London instead. So it's a really, really strong idea. Now, of course, everybody wants to know, what are going to be the lands? All right, so hold on. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go away for a second because I want you to see the whole thing. There's the map. Ooh, baby. Who even knows what all this stuff is? It's really hard to tell. I think that's intentional. But it looks exciting already. Let me get my arrow up here. Okay, so this is their map. So you can see like some kind of stage show over here with fire and water. Ooh. Then this is some kind of crazy roller coaster with these buildings around it. That looks nice. Here's another roller coaster. Here's another roller coaster. Roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. Here's some kind of big indoor attraction. Look at the fountains. Beautiful. And you can just see this is all very well built out. Here, look, some kind of kiddie land over here. Look, this roller coaster goes out over the water. I love it. Is it Elphaba? It's green. Wouldn't that be great if it was Elphaba, if she was defying gravity? Ha, 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 ha. That's what that looks like to me. My God, I can't believe they're going to build this in frickin' England. I'm very happy for you, but sad for me. Too far away. Must go. All right, and then here's like their Main Street area. Now, and this looks like a hotel, perhaps. Now, this map's actually bigger. Let me be able to see you a little bit. Here I am. So, yeah, you can see there's the entrance, the classic, iconic Universal entrance over here. That looks great. All right, so let me make this small so we can talk. So everybody's like, Wicked? Are you going to have a Wicked land? And then also I think a lot of us are hoping for a Game of Thrones. That's been discussed. You know, that would have to be another deal with Warner Brothers because it's their IP, but they already lend Harry Potter. However, so then the UK Minister of Culture was saying, wouldn't it be nice if the park focused on British brands like Harry Potter, but also James Bond and Paddington Bear? That's a really strong idea. That's great. I think it's very, very strong. Sophia, I don't know why Warner Brothers doesn't have their own park. It's kind of ridiculous, but they don't. And then, so I think it'll be interesting if it was British themed. That's right, Moko, Doctor Who. I mean, let's see what they decide to do. I think they'll probably have a mix. I think they'll definitely want to have British elements to play up the regionality. But I also think they're going to want the things that everybody wants to go to. So you'll have some kind of Harry Potter land, I'm sure. It looks like they are going to have Wicked. But if they had a James Bond attraction, that would be the only one in the world. And people would go absolutely insane. People would be like, oh, I got to make that trip sooner than I thought I would. All right, so I think it's really an amazing idea. And I think that, Universal continues to not let up on the pressure on Disney. They are brutal. They are brutal. All right, does anybody have questions or comments about this? But which Bond, Jeremiah? I think it would be generic Bond or current Bond. It would have to be somewhat digital so they could switch it out. That's right, Tatson. Universal is out to win. They're like, don't give them a second to regroup. Oh, Mystic, you've been to the Warner Brothers Dubai Park? That's nice. Oh, Alberto, Wonka would be great too. I don't know. I don't think that Warner Brothers will lease DC. I mean, that would be quite the headline if they would. But there are a lot of other things they could do instead, I think. Niall says with the grassy lands, although this is a summer rendering. The UK has winter. It's not, oh, Johannes, I'm glad you're so happy. I mean, I would be really happy if they built a theme park in my backyard too. I'm a theme park nerd as well. I mean, I just love them. But this is not Florida. This is London. And London gets pretty chilly. I mean, not super cold. When I was there, it was cold, but I did a lot of stuff outside. I walked around a lot. And I had no problem at Disneyland Paris. I thought I might be a little cold there, but I wasn't. It wasn't bad at all. I mean, I had to wear a winter jacket, but it was fine. I had a good time. Yes, Stephen, I'd love to see a Barbie Land, but I don't think they could have Wicked and Barbie Land. I think that's too much. And Barbie's technically with Warner Brothers. Danny says, hi, Grace. I had a chance to go to an Epic Universe preview day. It was great. Nintendo Land was amazing. Do you have any plans to visit? And what land would you be the most excited to explore? Well, I might be going soon. I'm not sure. But I think I'm obviously most excited about Dark Universe. And I've polled my entire family, and we also are all excited for Dark Universe. Norwegian Kryptonian, that is a very good point. England is not known for great weather. In fact, when I was there, it rained, or at least was threatening to rain and misting every single day I was in London. Not maybe every single day, but I would say 60 to 70% of the trip, I was moist. I was damp. I was like, woo! It was not a great hair day for the trip. I struggled with my hair because my hair and humidity do not mix. But yes, no, morphed. I was in the UK for Christmas again. I was there at Christmas time. Oh, Danny, I'm glad to hear that Dark Universe was great. That's awesome. That's right, Marduk. I go full on Monica from Friends. Von Steuben says Six Flags has DC characters, should gut those parks. They don't have to gut them, but I think they should pull their DC characters back. I think it's ridiculous that they're in Six Flags. With all due respect to Six Flags, but it's just not enough. No, I just had an umbrella, Dakota. I got a Harry Potter umbrella at the train station at King's Crossing. It was so great. Dan, I'm so glad you're going to be there right away. I don't think Nintendo will be going to this park, but Nintendo obviously is in Orlando. I got to tell you, a lot of people in the UK come to Disney World. It's huge because it's not that it's a flight. It's a trip, but a lot of people from UK go to Disney World. I don't like butterbeer morphed. I'm not a butterbeer fan. It's just too sugary for me. I mean, I try to get excited about it. There's a Harry Potter store here in New York City, downtown. And I've gone to it. And when I was there, I was like, I'm having such a good time. I go up, I buy all the Slytherin stuff I can carry. And then I was like, I don't want to leave. I'm going to get some butterbeer. Because they have a little butterbeer, little place so you can get it. And it came in a cute little collector's mug. And I was like, give me a collector's mug of butterbeer. And I was like, this is so bad. It tastes so bad. But I like everything else with Harry Potter. I love my Slytherin stuff. Thanks for reminding me. If I were to go to a Harry Potter land sometime in the near future, I should bring my Slytherin t-shirt. Ha ha! That's right. Gotta represent. We're not evil. We're just ambitious. Nobody understands us. Okay. Away says, Grace, this is great for me. I want to go to there. But I also know where Bedford is and how far it is from Nottingham. This is so fun. I feel like we're singing the song from Toad, The Wind in the Willows. And the water is going to get so dirty. I believe that. You'd be like, don't touch that water as you fly across it. I'm not Ravenclaw-like, with all due respect to Ravenclaws, but, I wanted to be a Slytherin, and I took the test on the website, and I was nervous, because I've taken tests before for fan tests, and things haven't gone the way I wanted them to. But I was very happy that I got a Slytherin. I don't think anybody's totally one kind of house, right? Oh, Tatson, you were at the King's Cross store, too. I was going to do the platform photo op, but the line was just too long. I was like, my God, that line is long. Let's see here. Oh, you want me to ask what house everybody's in? That's a good idea, Mika. Hold on. Okay. What Harry Potter house are you in? Gryffindor. There's you're going to be misspelled. Slytherin. Ravenclaw. And then Hufflepuff. It's Hufflepuff, right? Okay, yeah. All right. Please vote in your respective house. Anyone can vote, by the way, who's watching. You don't have to be a member to vote. Let's see here. We'll give it a second. Any other questions about this story? Shell says, Grace, thank you for keeping us entertained as always. I'm supposed to be working, but I have a second screen to watch your stream in secret. We won't tell on you. Shh. You can't be productive if your soul doesn't feel good. Everybody needs to take a break. Or as I like to call it, actually somebody else told me about this, it's called blue skying. You got a blue sky or you just can't function. And that just means taking some time to be creative yourself. I just think that's important. All right, we'll give it another moment. Oh, Tyler watches work during work all the time. I'm so glad to keep somebody of you company while you work. That makes me very happy. Oh no, Scores, not Blue Sky not Blue Sky, the social media service. That's where they get the term from, I think. But it's a long-time term called blue skying. Oh, look, Faye's at work too. I love it. I love keeping you guys all company at the office. Hey, family-friendly content. All right, let me close this. All right, so let me read the poll out to you because the poll doesn't regenerate after the live stream airs. So 31% of you are Ravenclaws. That's great. Oh, that's so cool. I'm glad a lot of you see yourselves. You see that we're alike. I love it. Gryffindor is at 24%. Hufflepuff is at 23%. And Slytherin is a little bit behind at 20%. But I do think it's funny. This is the second time we've done this poll. And almost every time, it's basically 25% each, which, evenly split, which means that J.K. Rowling, despite how horrible she is in person, creatively, she was very smart to come up with something that really does, evenly split everybody. I think that's fascinating. Hey, Ramenzilla at work, also representing Slytherin. I love it. Okay. Allegedly, Danny, I'm so glad you got Ravenclaw. They need more famous Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff members. Everybody always talks about the Slytherin and Gryffindor people, but not the others. Okay. Story number 3. We're on story number 3. Let me get my arrow. All right, hold on. This is an interesting one. Story number 3. Boom, baby. Okay, here we go. So, this is very interesting. Somebody asked me a question here. Thank you, Heliophile. Asked me a really nice question. I wanted to include it because I thought it was a good one right before the stream went up. And they said, if they make a season 2 of Adolescence, won't it compete under the, it won't compete under the miniseries category at the Emmys, right? Not necessarily. It could be like White Lotus, where it's an anthology series. And so while it is through the vernacular, the way you would refer to it would be seasons 2 or 3. That's right, it's an anthology series, as Matthew also said. They wouldn't be connected. So they're all the same theme. Even the White Lotus seasons even are connected, and it still counts as an anthology series. So it would be anthology. It would not have to compete. Oh, did White Lotus have to move to drama series? Although I guess because they are linked. The seasons are linked. That's interesting. Thank you for the update. But I think that this series would be fine because it would be an anthology series. So I think that I think that's what's going to happen. All right, so let's talk about this story. This is a breaking story just today that this isn't necessarily a done deal, but they're talking about it. So Adolescence is a ratings juggernaut. Just on Sunday, we talked about the fact that it had jumped to 9th place on the most watched all-time list for English shows on Netflix. So I went to see where it was now, and I was like, oh no, where'd it go? It's missing. It has jumped. Why does this look funny? Yeah, sorry. Okay, it has jumped to 4th place. There it is. 4th place. It was at 9th. It jumped all the way up to 4th. It's already passed 110 million views. That's incredible. That's just absolutely shocking that it's done so incredibly well. I mean, wow. It is closing in. It's going to pass Dahmer for sure. It'll end up number 3. And it's only just starting. I think there's a very good chance it's going to come close to Stranger Things. Now, Big League Chew, I think the first episode is that good. It's all good. I think that nothing is as good as the first episode. It's 4 episodes. But I think you should definitely at least watch the first episode. It's pretty incredible. And then some of you asked me about non-English shows. I don't know why these got stretched. I had placed them better. All right, so anyway, you can see that Squid Game Season 1 is the most watched with 265. Then it's Wednesday, it's 252, and then Squid Game Season 2 is at 192. And then you have Stranger Things 4, Dahmer, and Adolescence. So just so you can see how it is. All right, so that's incredible. So this is obviously a really big hit show. So the producers are the one who want to do another season. They're the ones who are pushing it. They're the ones who have announced it. That's right, Kay Walton. This is Brad Pitt's Plan B company. I thought he sold it, but I guess he still owns it because he was included in the headlines. So they are talking to director Philip Barantini. And of course, one of the most interesting things about Adolescence is that every single episode is a single long take, like the movie 1917 or episode 2 of The Studio. Obviously, there are cuts hidden within, but it plays as one long take, and it's extremely well choreographed and filmed. It's particularly cool to see something that has, particularly episode 1, like action elements to it. It's very tricky. They don't make it easy on themselves. It's really, really strong. Though they also said they obviously would like to have co-creators and writers, Stephen Graham, who plays the dad, and Jack Thorne involved as well. And I'm sure they will. Oh, that's right, Birdman too. I think it would be a mistake not to have those guys involved as well, especially since they co-created it. I'd be surprised that they could even do another series with the same title if those guys weren't involved because, again, they're the co-creators. Now, here's where it gets interesting. What would Adolescence Season 2 look like? As you might know, it's upset a number of people, particularly in the UK. It's based on a real-life case, although it's apparently based on a number of cases. However, a lot of people in the UK have drawn a similarity to a specific case where the boy in question and the girl in question were a different ethnicity. So there was a lot of arguing as to why this series changed the ethnicity of the character. And I think it was an interesting choice. It was a lightning rod choice. And it certainly got everybody talking about the show. I think they handled it very carefully, extremely carefully, in fact. Now, I think, what do you do next, right? Do you change the country that they're going to be in? Do you do Adolescence in a different country? Do you do a different ethnicity? And if so, which ethnicity do you do? That can become just as supercharged. And then, with gender, do you do maybe a girl who has had the internet affect them in a toxic way? I think there are certainly cases of that as well. I think it's really tricky. I think it's going to be really tricky to handle. I would like to see the different ways that you're booked into the system in different countries. That to me was one of the most interesting things. And I think every single parent in school should make children watch Adolescence so that you see that if you commit a crime, what will happen to you when you get booked by the police into the system. And the fact that when they were booking this small 13-year-old boy, it didn't seem that unusual to any of them. They were like, this happens every once in a while, so we just have to do it. So I'll be curious, and then also, of course, the topic as well. I think this is a very difficult thing to do, but I think hopefully it's done with the same effort to help as the first season was. I think the first season was trying very hard to, Stephen Graham has said that the thesis statement of Adolescence is that adults are letting kids down. Thank you, Bubbles. It's nice to see you. And I think that they laid out some really great arguments as to why that's true. Dylan says, I'm a pediatrician going into adolescent medicine, and this show is so important as someone working in that field. That's wonderful. That's great. And Twinkle says there's not the same cultural problems. There aren't, but I do feel like what this show dealt with, which was the toxicity of like some of the commentary aimed at men or boys, is very toxic. And I think that's definitely a problem. It was very shocking, but I think it was very well done. I think the show was very well done. I don't think that the 3 follow-up episodes were as strong as the first, but the first one was amazing. Jamie Isaac Choi says a very similar case happened in the States recently where a football athlete got stabbed by a student of another school. Yeah, that's very sad. That's very sad. They're very sad. Sadly, they have many, many cases to choose from. That could be a documentary. They're like, what should we cover? Oh my gosh, what could we not cover? There's just so much. That's really sad that there's so much crime and horrible things happening to children. I think one of the most interesting things that they touched upon is that it used to be, and Stephen Graham talked about this, is that so many more people have access to your child these days. So used to be, if someone was talking to your child, most of the time you would be aware of it. Now you have a situation where a lot of people could be talking to your children and influencing them, and you just have no idea that's happening. And then also you have social media programs like TikTok and Twitter, which do alter your brain and make you addicted to their services, which I don't understand how that's allowed to be the case. I'm afraid to go on TikTok. I don't want my brain rewritten. I'm having a hard enough time on X. Hi, David. So dark and so horrible. I see her. That's right, Twinkle. I think that I do feel that phones shouldn't be allowed in schools, and I do feel there should be, I don't know, it's tough. Heather says, my grandparents were foster parents from their 50s to the 90s. I've seen how parents treat it isn't that shocking. That's very sad, Heather, and that's very kind of your parents to dedicate so much of their life to helping others. That's very generous of them. Okay. I am not a child psychologist. Can't talk about this, and I think we're getting into a little bit scary territory, so I think we should move on to the Q&A. All right, so hold on. All righty, Q&A. 10 minutes. It's 3:32. We can go till 3:42. Booyah. That's right, Marduk. Oh, yeah. Boom, baby. That's right, Mystic. I was like, what is that emoji? That's right, Mika. The Last of Us Season 3 is coming. But of course it's coming. They already told us it was coming. Sophia says, would Adolescence turn into a true crime show? Where are the ethics of exploiting these tragedies? Well, I think they changed so much of it that it wouldn't be a true crime show. And I think that's the difference. Dancing Dog 60 says, Grace, I recently read that Wilson Bethel, Bullseye, was super close to becoming Steve Rogers. He got to screen test even with the costume. Hollywood is full of stories like that. Which is why I thought it was really funny in The Flash when they said that just because Eric Stoltz, if he had stayed in Back to the Future, they changed what movie everybody was in. And so they said, oh yeah, Eric Stoltz was in Back to the Future, and Michael J. Fox was in Footloose, and Kevin Bacon was in Top Gun. I thought that was really funny because it's just such true Hollywood humor. David says, I hope we don't see Greg on the White Lotus ever again. I don't think Mike White will do anything bad to him. Well, I don't know if you will or not. I think you'll see Belinda again, for sure. Perhaps the baton has been passed to her. Hassan says, which theme park is your personal fave? Well, I always enjoy a Magic Kingdom, no matter where in the world it might be. I like Main Street USA. That's my favorite thing in any park. But I guess I'm partial to Disney World because I know it the best. But I gotta tell you, I love all major theme parks. I'm a big fan. My dream someday is to go to Tokyo Disney Sea. NoFX says, hey Grace, do you think the intense focus on Robert Downey Jr. and James Gunn and their respective projects is hurting or helping them to succeed? You don't know until you see the box office, but I think those are excellent questions. I think that And I've said it for both of them. I don't think that one person should overshadow the property. I think it makes it seem less like you're enjoying your favorite thing and more like you're putting money in the pocket of the person whose face is on it. And I feel that you got to be really careful about that. Now, obviously, as many of you know, I'm a capitalist. I'm all for Robert Downey Jr. and James Gunn getting paid their fair share. But I do feel that they take an unusually aggressive ownership of the projects they're involved in. They don't seem like team players. Diego, I haven't heard when the Wicked 2 trailer is coming out yet. Everybody keeps telling me about The Pit, Kareem. I gotta watch The Pit. Thank you, Martine. I'm gonna watch it. Let's see here. Formerly False is Grace. What is your favorite TV streaming show to watch right now? Well, I'm always ahead of everybody. Although I had a great time. I'm having a great time with The Last of Us. I gotta tell you. I filmed my breakdown last night. I'm really excited to talk to you about it on on Sunday night. But anyway, I like Real Housewives because it allows me to, I'm watching Denise Richards, I'm sorry to say. I admit it. And I really like The Studio. I liked Your Friends and Neighbors. I'm going to try, that show I retweeted today, that Apple Murder Bot show. I have screeners for that. I'm going to start those. But there's television is really good. Oh, African Children Media. I'm so glad you got to go to Tokyo Disney Sea. I'm so jelly. Kay Walton's going to be there next week. Oh, send me a photo, Kay Walton, on Twitter so I can live through you. Let's see here. H. Hadley says, with Snow White flopping due to a lot of reasons, do you expect Scream 7 to be badly hurt at the box office, given that a lot of activists had an issue with Gal and boycotted the movie? I'm not sure about Scream 7. Let's see what the trailer looks like. I'm not sure if that's going to be the same issue. Scoria says, should they try to relaunch She-Hulk in a standalone movie more faithful to the comics? I think they wasted the character. Amen. I feel so bad with what happened to She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany was wonderfully cast. I think she's wonderfully rendered as the character. I think the design is great. It's just that frickin' Rick and Morty writer just ruined it for everybody. I'm very upset. I don't know about Fantasia Land, Cat Shack. That sounds nice. Let's see here. Shell, the Thunderbolts tickets seem to be all over the place. Some screenings are packed and some are super empty. So, Jesus says, hey Grace, will you be returning as a zombie in 28 years later? I shall not, but thank you for remembering. But I am very excited about that movie. Barry, the Manilow, I love that, says Adolescence taps into something that needs to be discussed. We need to be able to discuss loneliness, anger, and self-hate among young boys. If we don't, we let certain people dominate the conversation. I would 100% agree with that. I do feel that it's not good to abandon anybody. And I feel that is certainly happening to a number of demographics, but I think that group is included. And I think that adolescence definitely is we failed this young boy. I think nobody's blaming him, except for obviously the horrible thing that he did. But I think he is very much a victim as well. I think that, there's a feeling that men aren't supposed to have emotions, right? And I think that has caused a lot of problems for men for a very long time. I think men should be willing to, because that makes a situation where men of all ages don't feel they can ask for help. And I think you should always ask for help. Justin, it's one of the bravest things you can do to say, I am not okay. I really need help. Tyler, I'm glad you enjoy the Denise show as well. Justin says, hi Grace, just saw Trixie and Katya brought me, oh, I saw that. I'm so honored that they did. I love Trixie and Katya. So that was really nice. Elpidio says, what have you heard about Sinners? Watching in an IMAX. I got my screening. I was too last minute. There was actually one this morning. I couldn't make it because I was doing my Daredevil breakdown. Unless the show is really hot, I can't stay up at midnight up until 2 or 3 in the morning doing breakdowns. Let's see how hot Last of Us is. So for shows that are only medium, I will cover them in the morning. But I'm glad I got it up before 1 p.m. I'm going to shoot for before noon, to be honest with you. Although I have to say, because Daredevil's just not that hot a show, I'm sorry to say. I am planning something for Andor, though. So the thing I was planning for White Lotus, or something similar, I'm going to do for Andor. So I'll be able to cover that still. I'm not going to do breakdowns for Andor. You know, they said that Andor is going to be 3 episodes at a time, and I'm like, when are these going to start? At 9 p.m. at night? You're going to drop a movie at 9 p.m.? I hope they move it to 7. I hope they move the movie to 7, the drop time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's just ridiculous. Alberto, I loved The Residence. I finished it. I loved it so much. That's a great recommendation. Oh, Ryan, I am excited for Andor. I am. Robert Hayes, I'm glad you're getting a lot of your Apple TV subscription. They have great content. I don't know about how Thunderbolts is scoring, although I got some tea on it recently, and it ends the way I thought it would. Okay, Swamp Thing says, thanks for all your hard work, building an amazing community. Oh, and being a lovely person. I'm a quiet BTT member, but I love being a part of the family. Oh, Swamp Thing, thank you for not only that nice comment, but being a member, even though you don't like to comment a lot. I really appreciate the support, particularly when things are slow and, you know, people aren't interested in a lot of stuff that Hollywood's putting out or are upset with Hollywood. You guys are a lifeline to me in this channel. So I really, your membership is really important. So thank you for being members. Away says, oh, I saw you asking me on Twitter for crumbs as well. All right, I'll give you 1 crumb, Away, since you've been so persistent and so nice about it. Catherine O'Hara is probably my favorite character of the first episode. What a monologue. Okay. Moko, I would think that not just Kevin Feige, but Disney across the board has done very poorly with its characters of color. Michael Hartshorn says, would you record your day at Epic Universe? That might be a bit too intrusive, but I would maybe take photos. I might do that. Let's see how bad my hair is. And the humidity. I might be like, nobody needs to see this. Carlo, I'm glad you like The Pit too. I'm going to watch The Pit. Questionable Burrito says, who is your favorite character for the Minecraft movie? Oh, that's easy. Jason Momoa. I thought he was wonderful. Although I liked Jack Black a lot too. Robin Zilla says, people who criticize the bad behavior of men forget young boys are not actually men yet, but they internalize it. Oh, for sure. But I think we should be sympathetic to grown men as well. Anyone can be sad and feel lost. Faye says, I may or may not have gotten to see Sinners early. Oh, really, Faye? Really? I like that. I'm very curious for your thoughts on it, Grace. It's great, you suspect, but not at all as advertised. I was expecting something much scarier, but still liked it. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. I'm excited to see it. I really like Ryan Coogler. I haven't seen Ryan Coogler miss yet, so I don't expect to see that this time. Allegedly, Danny says, have you seen how Blumhouse is creating games? Do you think more studios should try to create more games when they get dibs on adapting because it's theirs? Oh, for sure. Gaming is obviously, you know, I'm not a gamer. I don't know if I ever will be a gamer, but I have tremendous respect for that industry. I mean, being able to see what they can do is incredible. Just absolutely incredible. Let's see here. What's my prediction for Thunderbolts opening weekend, Ben? Under 100, I think. But still probably pretty good. I think the last day they were tracking it around 80 is where they thought it would open. Let's see. Moster says, what do you think of Lady Gaga and a Robert Eggers project? That could be interesting. That could be really great. I don't know if enough time has passed after Joker, though, to be honest with you. Noelle says, Grace, I had a rough past year, and I just wanted to say you have been a huge relief and distract. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I could do that for you, Noel. I know how important it is to have something like that to take your mind off of things. So I have those things that I can escape to myself, and that I could do that for you. Just, you know, I'm just really humbling. And I'm glad it seems like, you know, you're persevering. You know, you just got to stay positive, and you got to keep looking forward. That's really important in life. All right, I better get going. I had a lovely time talking to you, as always. I'm seeing Warfare this evening. So my review will go up for that tomorrow, and then on Friday will be our next live stream, okay? And then Movie Math on Sunday, and then Sunday night, Sunday. The Last of Us. And because I got the first episode early, my breakdown will be available pretty much right after the episode is done airing. Okay, everybody, see you soon. Bye-bye.